Hello! Welcome to the live stream. The kittens are still eating, so I feel the need to put them on the screen. Maybe it's not that exciting to watch them eat, though. Hello, welcome to the live stream. David, I am also still waiting for the sitcom-esque opener, but I feel like we had a lot of concepts. We had maybe too many concepts. So, also, we had so many concepts, I can't even remember all of them anymore. Today's live stream was supposed to be about the hearings that were heard at the Supreme Court yesterday that could get rid of this case. If it goes really the worst way, then it could get rid of all no-cost preventative health services that are mandated under the Affordable Care Act. We could talk about it a little bit, but the good news is that based on SCOTUS blog and Supreme Court observers, it appears as though the interpretation that would potentially get rid of all of the preventative healthcare recommendations that have to be provided free or low cost under Affordable Care Act plans, it appears to be breaking the way that I would hope that it would break. Meaning, it looks like that won't be rolled back. We won't actually know until the Supreme Court decision is out. Yesterday was just the oral arguments. This case was originally filed 2 years ago, and I talked about it on the live stream then, at the same time that I talked about the Marietta hospital case that was specifically around dialysis patients. Both of those cases, like when I talked about them, one of them, this one hadn't been scheduled yet. Anyway, oral arguments happened yesterday. I haven't been able to hear the tape of the oral arguments yet, so I have just been able to read the legal blogs that cover the Supreme Court. Usually those tapes don't come out for a while, unless you're someone that covers them and you like kind of already have access and you listen live. This Supreme Court decision is expected late June or July, so we won't really know how it rolls. I'm happy to talk through kind of the concerns. This was a case that I was very concerned about when I brought it up on the live stream, maybe 2 years ago. And the reason it is concerning is that the far-reaching consequences that it can have, but particularly that this is being done on religious grounds. And it's going after HIV medications, which is obviously a huge concern. PrEP, which is pre-exposure HIV medications, are considered preventative health coverage. And those decisions are made by a task force of appointed people, the Preventative Healthcare Task Force that was established in law in the Affordable Care Act. They make recommendations on any preventative services that insurance has to cover for no cost. So the ACA, one of the things that they did is like, you can get annuals, you can get well women exams, you can get, certain kinds of vaccines, are all different kinds of screenings. Breast cancer screenings is one of the ones that comes up a lot. Prostate cancer screenings, at certain ages, all of those things are covered no cost under ACA compliant plans. The group that makes recommendations about what is included, what specific like drugs, procedures, or whatever is included under that is this task force. It became a little controversial a couple years ago when they changed the recommendations and how often mammograms should happen and the minimum age at which mammograms should happen on a regular basis, that where they would be covered with no coverage. The Susan Komen Foundation, which is one of the foundations that is very active in breast cancer research, they were highly critical of this task force. That's kind of the last time anybody paid attention to it until this Supreme Court case got filed. Anyway, I already have given you way more details while I was just supposed to be explaining the topic. What I will say is I thought I didn't want to talk about that this much right now. This case if things break the way that reporters on the court are saying oral arguments went yesterday, it's unlikely that these would be repealed. And the good news about this is it gives less control to the current Secretary of Healthcare and Human Services, which is Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And one of the reasons that that is concerning is Robert F. Kennedy Jr., in addition to not being academically trained in healthcare in any way, is also very big vaccine skeptic. And if this task force gets kind of attacked in this way via the courts, it could give a greater power to make recommendations about what kind of childhood vaccines are covered with no copay, free cost to the consumers, which obviously will strongly affect especially low income people, but just generally across the board, people are less likely to do preventative healthcare if it costs them money out of pocket, which in turn costs a lot more for our healthcare system if people aren't getting preventative coverage. Anna turned 1 year old today. I cannot believe it. Unreasonable. I cannot believe it. Baby kitten, seconds ago. I can change it every season. It means I have to film and edit 4 of them. At my current rate of editing videos, I feel like that's not going to happen. I do need to watch. When we were talking about this heavily, I did watch some 80s sitcom openers, and maybe I need to revisit them. I should have a donut after a week of Passover food. Yes, here's some leavened goodness for you. I think you should. Let me show you the leavened goodness. This is a strawberry rhubarb fritter, which we have had before. It's got fresh strawberries inside. It is a large fritter boy, and then it's got a rhubarb glaze with its real rhubarb. The last time I had it was last June, and I rated it a 4 out of 5. So we're going to see if it's better. I have to say, I am pretty hungry. I had just a little snack for lunch, and then I've been drinking tea continuously for the past couple hours. So I'm very hungry. So I bet my rating is going to be higher. Yes, this is my, Erin made these, and the glass cover also, I don't know if you noticed this, but it has Erin Woodburn with my Oh My Dollar logo. I have 2 of these now. And the reason I have them is because someone likes to attack my donuts and lick them. So I have to have something to cover them after I get them. Need to add a hunger rating to the donut log. I know, I feel like there's a lot of ways this data can break down. Oh, winter. 800 plus measles cases has something to say about RFK's vaccine skepticism and getting rid of preventative care. But the data does not matter to this administration. That's not even biased. It is very evident that data is not part of health policy in this administration. Oh no. What are we attacking? I think the cat has just attacked dust. I think she saw the light hit some dust and she decided to wind up and go run. Not me, it's the cat who licks the donuts. Yes, it is true. It is not Erin. What are you meowing at? What are you meowing at, Machka? Oh, she's come over here because I'm making any noise and paying any attention to her. Come on up. Come say hi to everybody. Come on. Are you incapable of getting my lap? Come on. You don't want to get on my lap. You just want to look at me. Okay. And the second I ignore her, that she's going to decide to jump up on my lap when I'm not paying attention. Sure, Erin, blame the cat. I mean, I definitely see the cat. Do not attack my dress. Um, should we just go into the donut? I feel like we might need the donut in order to prepare ourselves for the chaos that is discussing all the things happening in healthcare. So we could talk about the specific Supreme Court case if people want to talk about it. We can also talk about all of the very, very bad things that are happening within the Department of Health and Human Services, as far as like staff being laid off, research not being funded. There's just email addresses that at Health and Human Services right now that are not being checked because they were ordered to stop checking them when Doge came in at the beginning of this administration. And so like there's this email address that is at HSS, and it is about IVF, and it is where you can email to get recommendations on IVF clinics, and it's who like rates all the clinics and their performance and collects all the data on them. And they have this email essentially hotline, and they were ordered to stop checking it. So no one has been checking it for months now. And that might not seem like urgent and life critical, but that is happening with tons and tons of things. Everybody agrees that we need a donut first. Okay. I kind of agree too. I just like my head might need a donut. Fuzzbubble says, is this a shirt or dress? The top is lovely. It is a dress. It is from, I don't know if you can see it. It's kind of like a little longer than knee length on me. So I think it would be just above the knee on a normal sized person. It is from Ivy City Co. I got it secondhand because their stuff is made in China, and they don't really prioritize ethical, but I like a lot of their styles. They're one of the many Mormon pretty dress brands. So they have like mommy and me dresses, which seems to be very common among the Mormon dresses. What I love about getting stuff from the Mormon brands is that they will cover your bra completely and your chest, because they will always be like compliant with temple garments, which is great for my modesty needs. And usually they have sleeves, which I really like. And I actually like these sleeves because they're like a little more subtle, because I always try to get sleeves whenever possible. And the anyway, Ivy City Co., very easy to get secondhand. There's a lot of buy sell trade groups. They're reasonably priced because I don't think they're terribly ethically made, but they're great at like frilly, ultra feminine, kind of modest dress wear. And they have a pretty big size range, not as big as Jessica K, but I believe they go up to 3X. They go down to X or extra small, and they go up to 3X or 4X, I believe. So pretty good size range. And this comes in multiple colors as well, too. They have a bit of a cult following. They're based in Utah, as you may expect the Mormon dress companies to be. And they're based in Utah, but that means that they do like a trunk sale every year. And because of that, if you wait, like a sample sale, if you wait on the buy sell trade groups right after that trunk show, you can get so many of them. Anyway, NIH grant cancellation funding losses are continuing to affect the universities. Yes, and immigration policy is really, really factoring in right now. The amount of people, researchers that are getting visas canceled is phenomenal. And this includes health researchers, this includes academic researchers, but the NIH grants that are getting canceled is wild. So, okay, we need to do, thanks for the break for the horrors. Yeah, see, I like how we use dresses instead, but I want to eat this donut. So, this is Talking Dough and Eating Donuts, and we're going to eat a donut. Where did she find that?
I have no idea.
Why is she so good at this? Okay, Machka found a whole string that I've never seen in my life before. I have a question about people's consumption habits on YouTube, which is, do you watch like cleaning organization type either streams or edited videos. I am very curious because I am thinking about maybe doing some content in that vein when we move house, because I have like a whole office to set up with all of my ample stationery. I have a closet to set up, and I have all the data on my closet. Like I know I track everything I've worn for I think about 8 years now. And I have a database of all my clothing. And I also just generally we have to organize the house. Anyway, I'm very curious. Do people watch like cleaning, organizing content? And if they do, what kind do they like? Do they like the kind that has like no music? And maybe like, do you like it when the person talks over it and like provides a narrative, or you just like the like body doubling style? I'm very curious. Please let me know what you like. Do you like the more applicable where it's like, here's 5 tips about how to do it, or do you like the more kind of like vloggy style where it really shows you it? Okay. This is strawberry rhubarb. It's a fritter, so it's very big. I gave it a 4 last time, but I'm really hungry, so I think it's going to get rated higher. I applied for an extension on the donut tax. Winter, I need sleeves on things because I don't shave my armpits and I don't like to talk to people who like to make comments on my underarms, so that's why I always wear sleeves. Also, it's that much less sunscreen. This is really good. I think it's a 5 out of 5 today. One bite. My tax rate has gone down. David says, once in a while I watch this show called The House Files. We finally filmed another video for The House Files. We have to edit it and post it, though. That was 2 bites. I said 1 bite.
1 bite. I don't know how you count.
It was 1 bite in 2 parts. Oh, this is really good. What does TLDW mean? I could go for a long form and a short edited, but... Oh, too long didn't watch. Okay. That makes sense. I like how I immediately know what TLDR stands for, but not. That fritter looks stellar and Lily might bite Aaron. It's a 5 out of 5. I am hungry.
I give it 4 out of 5.
Do you think it's the hunger?
Yeah. I think it needs to be more rhubarb.
Oh, yeah. I think that was your feedback last time. Aaron says it has to be more rhubarb if the mic didn't catch that up. I think it's great. Okay, let's fill in the donut log. If we don't want to talk about how healthcare is going terribly, we could, any more than we already have, I can just do my planner. Okay, so this was last time. It was 6/11 last year, and I said 4 out of 5. Now... Okay, this is this year's, and I'm giving it 5 out of 5 this time. There we go. By the way, I've now filled up 3 of these. That feels impressive to me. Like, this is getting close to the end. I have, like, maybe another month-ish before I finish that one. Pretty impressive, I think. I mean, if eating a bunch of donuts is impressive. I wish I had started doing those in the beginning. I mean, I don't know if they existed in the beginning, but should I do a merch collab with this company? Because they're a Portland company that makes these 33 donuts books, and we make a 33... Nobody else needs a donut rating book, though, right? I mean, that's the thing, is like, who else eats donuts on this? I don't know if it's a very good merch. I like talking tips or comments or just irrelevant chatter, then it feels like I'm with a friend. That's what I watch too. I like the ones that don't put music in though. I don't really like the music. I like it when they like chatter and then they speed up the cleaning, but they don't like add music over it. I want the cleaning to be sped up. Yeah. I agree with that. How about a retro donut log? Pull up an old stream and update the log. Wait, I'm confused. Explain to me how that would work. Pull up the old stream and... Oh, you mean like go back to streams before and do it? I wasn't taking pictures of all the donuts though, so I don't think it would work. Oh, I screenshot it and then print it? Oh, because Aaron's pointing out they are in the live stream. I am not totally sure about that. That seems like a lot of work to do what? Fill up books full of donuts?
Sounds like a good live stream.
Is it?
Do it live.
I can't do silence, so music or combos. I guess I kind of prefer tips. Okay, this is good. I watch a minimalism channel. Meteor X says depends on the tasks being shown. What kind of tasks do you like to watch and what kind of tasks do you do? What would you click on? I'm very curious. I like cleaning, organizing video. I prefer no music where the person talks, and I like to see the person actually do the cleaning. Same. I don't like it when they like are cleaning an already clean house too. That kind of drives me nuts. Unless, okay, I am not opposed to that if I'm just being like, I need to figure out how to get a stain out of this rug. And if I come upon a video where they are just showing you how to get the stain out of the rug in like a stage house, I'm like, great, if it's like fast and to the point. But when I am listening to them as like background noise, because I watch Midwest Magic Cleaning. A lot of the time, he mostly cleans like hoarder houses, but he just has really great monologues, very interesting. He has a lot of reflections on like the psychology behind hoarding disorder and poverty and possessions, and he's just very interesting the way he talks about things. And but I find it very helpful as background noise when I'm cleaning my own house. So, oh, and he's very like, it's not, because I thought Hoarders, like the TLC show, is like terrible the way they treat the people. His people will never be on screen, and he's very respectful, and it's very anonymous, and he's very compassionate. He has recently been like fixing up his own house and just doing some DIY projects instead of the hoarding cleaners for a little while. And I don't really care. I'll just listen to him talk about anything. It's kind of like a podcast. I'm often in a different room from when it's playing on the screen. The dirty rug cleaning music is okay. Well, yeah, I like those ones. I really do like I don't watch a lot of the dirty rug cleaning because the thing for me is it just feels impossible for me to replicate in my house. Like when I watch the like professional rug cleaners, they use so much water and they're in these huge warehouses, and I'm just like, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. Mowing. Interesting. What does SB stand for? I need a personal organizer to come here and help. Yes, I agree with that. I like before and after. I agree with that too. Yeah. Well, there'll definitely be a before and after for my office. I don't know if I'll do it on this channel or I'll do it on the House Files channel. We need to get to 1,000 subscribers on the House Files channel. It's almost like we should post more often.
It's a collab. You do the teaser here.
Wait, so what's the teaser here? Aaron has a concept where I'm collaborating with my own other channel. I'm only half of the House Files, so it's a 1.5 collab. I think it's the guy's business name or his individuals. Oh, interesting. That's the name of the. What is it? Just someone mowing lawns? Interesting. I watch them for the satisfaction of the transformation, not to replicate. That's how I feel about the rug cleaning videos too. That sounds interesting. I need inspo to buy less stuff, find stuff cheap, get rid of stuff, and organizing my things. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I am getting close to mentally committing to everything that I do in my new office is going to be used. And that is partially just a perspective of my theme for my office is Woodland Regency. So like I'm getting like an antique desk and stuff like that. The only thing that it might not work for is that this pole where I am filming, which is like a floor to ceiling pole that we're with all my live streaming equipment, well, not all, some of my live streaming equipment on it is going in the office, and we're gonna try to like turn it into a tree. And that is probably going to involve some materials from like Michael's or something, which won't be used. I'm sure if I was really committed, I could probably do it used, but maybe that's like a separate thing. But I'm going to try not to like go to IKEA and buy a whole desk set or go to the Container Store and buy a bunch of, little things to hold everything. I actually want to try to that is how I'd always done it. And then in the past couple years, I've started to get more like, oh, I'll just buy the little organizing thing, or I'll just buy the desk new. And I don't feel great about it. And with tariffs incoming, now it makes even more sense than ever to buy used. Can you give us a link for it? Are we talking about the mowing channel, or are we talking about the Midwest Magic Cleaning? Oh, I've seen the power washes sidewalks, but like only in shorts before. Yeah, I guess that is a compelling reason to do shorts. All right. We need a vote. Who wants me to talk about more terrible healthcare stuff, or who wants me to try to organize my summer in my planner? These are the choices. I would love to see you do some thrifting tips too. I don't know if I have hot tips, but I always feel people that make good thrifting videos, they are filming in a place where I am uncomfortable filming. I am not comfortable filming at a thrift store, like as I go through things with one hand. Maybe it's a little easier when it's appliances. I always feel weird filming like clothing as you're looking through it, but then I enjoy watching it. Where is 3D printing filament made? That's how I bet a lot of it is made in China. I'm gonna bet. Should we find out?
Oh, I know one was made in.
Aaron says, okay, but buying lots of little things to hold things is really satisfying. Yeah, but then you have a package show up at the house 3 times a day. Okay, we have 1 vote for the distraction calming and 1 for the horror of healthcare. So we're at a 50-50 split. Should I do an actual poll? Let's start a poll. Um, actually, I don't know what a Q&A is, but it says start a Q&A, so I'm gonna do. How about you guys ask me questions about what's going on with healthcare? What things are you concerned about? What do you want to know about? Because there's really so much that I have been tracking and I have been following like other people's tracking it. It's a little overwhelming. One of the really scary things going on right now is that doesn't affect that many people, but is concerning for what it means for like other folks in healthcare is um that essentially we're kind of stuck with the situation of the Veterans Administration is getting gutted. It already was like vastly understaffed and had long wait times. And one of the concerns is as the Veterans Administration gets gutted, it is providing health care for a segment of the population that is bipartisan. Like supporting veterans is a bipartisan issue for sure. And it is really concerning to see what has been happening to the Veterans Administration in the greater context of healthcare. I think that there are some people that have been looking at what's been happening in the US and the like onslaught of changes and pushes that the administration is trying to push right now and going like what is the big picture? Like what is the underlying change and structure that they're trying to do? Because obviously like Donald Trump is using a lot of political capital. His popularity has plunged at a much faster rate. Like his approval ratings have plunged at a much faster rate since election than anyone expected him to be. He's spending like political capital left and right because a lot of the people that swung his way in this election are not the diehard MAGA supporters. They are people that were voting on economics. They were voting on inflation and grocery prices. And a lot of his choices that he's making with some pretty extreme tariff policies and various other things that he's choosing to do. There's just so many that it's like impossible to list, are not doing what they are supposed to do. And because of that, he's spending a lot of political capital because the price of eggs have gone through the roof, blah, 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 blah. One of those issues that's related to healthcare. So I like, how is this linked to the Veterans Administration? How is this linked to healthcare political analysis wise? Well, if the Trump administration is willing to spend this amount of political capital, it might not matter for him because he's not getting reelected, right? He's not running for reelection. Well, that's a different problem. But he's not theoretically running for reelection. So he could spend all of his political capital if he wants. A lot of people think he is very concerned with his legacy. But if he's spending all this political capital, it is harming his party if his popularity plunges, right? It makes it hard to get things through Congress. It's going to affect midterms. There is more to it than just the party. So, one of the things that is like underlying theory is that this political capital is being spent for a large scale change, which is, just recently reread at the behest of one of Aaron's colleagues in the authentication space who grew up in South Africa. I reread Naomi Klein's shock doctrine. And Naomi Klein's shock doctrine talks about the shock and awe style of politics that is used to bring about large scale societal changes. And when we have seen these in the recent history, what has it done? It has the large scale change that has happened after it is moving from collective systems of economies like where command economies to a market economy. It is moving towards free market. Free market is the opposite of what these tariffs are doing, right? But the shock and awe of everything going on, you can't really make the argument that you're going to try to make America more free market. That's our brand, right? We do have protectionist policies, just to be clear, but we are not a command economy. But 1/5 of the US economy is healthcare. And our healthcare, while you might argue that it is free market, it is not as free market as some people think. And there is a very large player in the healthcare space, which is the government. The government is very much responsible for the mandates and driving and spending of how healthcare dollars are spent, because about 40% of people in this country are getting some kind of healthcare via government sources, be it Medicare, Medicaid, via subsidies that they receive, or, it might be 851B, which is like a government spending on drug costs, right? It might be funding via the NIH. NIH. Why was it so hard to say that? The government is a very big player in the healthcare space. So you might propose that they want to completely disinvolve the government and completely privatizing Medicare. Has been something that has been bandied about by more fringe members of the right for quite a while. The other area that I think it's extremely possible it could happen, this was a thing that Bush was a big fan of and he lost out in it, but when he was at all-time popularity, when he got reelected, this is HW, not the original. And George Bush, he wanted to do Social Security reform, which is pensions in the US. It's our government pension, essentially. And he tried, and he just couldn't get it because he had spent too much political capital. They bungled Katrina. That was a big part of it. They lost the Katrina response to Hurricane Katrina was just like a huge mess. It was seen as a level of government incompetence, and they couldn't push through Social Security reform. Social Security is considered to be the third rail, but we've seen a lot of third rail, meaning you can't touch it, right? Like it is baked in as a thing that you wouldn't be able to touch, because your core constituents as a politician, the people that actually vote, are older and are relying on it, and it lifted Americans out of poverty, right? Like the Social Security was very much responsible for the abundance of wealth that we have seen in the United States since the Great Depression. And Social Security was one of the things that was responsible for it. And it was a very, very grand plan when we did it. There is a lot of thought that it is possible, if there is a greater plan, it is to privatize Social Security and not make it a government plan. Because what I will say is it's supposed to be the third rail. You don't touch it. You don't want to get rid of it. Maybe you do tweaks and reforms to it, but you don't want to piss off older voting people that are receiving Social Security. But guess what? Pissing off constituents does not seem to matter based on this administration's term thus far. We're about to hit the first 100 days of Donald Trump. I think it's next week. When is Donald Trump first 100 days? It's next week, yes. So April 30th will be the 100th day of Donald Trump's presidency. And in that 100 days, the administration has pissed off all of the voters that you aren't supposed to piss off. And they've gone after things that are considered sacrosanct. And including like doing things that the markets wouldn't like, which that was always the consolation among more conservative leaning folks that had gotten in line with Donald Trump when it was clear he was the leader of the party, right? He's reshaped the party, and we no longer have the people that are like, I'm a never Trumper Republican. That just doesn't exist anymore. But the people that are, more career Republicans, career government people that maybe do not like his style of governing, but are in line because he's part of their party, their consolation has always been that Donald Trump does not like it when the stock market goes down. That's it, quite simply. And unfortunately, one of the things that's happened is it doesn't seem like he cares about that anymore. Which I will say, the stock market is not the economy, but he's making a lot of decisions that do have negative effects on the stock market, which then in turn have negative effects on the economy. And there are a lot of choices that will have that if they go through in their current forms, will have real economic pain. So which of those is he trying to do? I mean, if you read Project 2025, they're trying to do all of them. Okay. There's so many comments. So let me go back and read some before I go any deeper. I'm without healthcare until June because of an employer screw up, and as a healthy person, that's inconvenient. I can only imagine those who truly rely on it regularly. Do you need help problem solving this? Have you figured it out? I'm very sorry. That's very stressful. If you're a relatively healthy person, that's okay. But I just want to make sure that if something very traumatic happens to you between now and June, you have a plan. Like, are you able to get retroactive via Cobra, something like that? I would like to know more. Have you gotten a piece of paper from your employer saying like they're the ones that screwed it up? Because that's hopefully you don't need it and everything will be fine. But May is next week. Yes, it's very rude, and I would like to say no. I just got here. Have things gotten worse yet? The good news is the thing that was being discussed in SCOTUS yesterday that I made this live stream about, the oral arguments as interpreted by people who covered the Supreme Court seem to imply that that part is not going away. But yes, things have probably gotten worse in the past 5 minutes, I imagine. I'm traveling for all of May, so yeah, literally true. Yep. W basically wanted to invest Social Security in the stock market. At that point, you might as well just bet on a horse. I mean, yeah. Okay. I don't want to get too deep into the allocations of Social Security. He also wanted to cap certain kinds of benefits for high income earners. That was part of it, but he was talking more about making it more like 401ks. Both my parents retired from DOC security. My brother currently works there, and it's been a shit show in this administration. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. It does sound truly, truly stressful right now. He spends more time in travel than processing claims. Oh. His union negotiated work from home 4 days a week, and Doge has taken that away. I know. Okay. I have to say this. Like, I have covered this so much, not just related to this administration, but the obsession with employers to back to work. Like, so for example, I am doing right now a piece on transit agencies and how they're impacted. Like, they're all kind of in dire financial straits. And in Oregon, they get a lot of funding from this specific payroll tax, and they've asked for it to be increased 5 times, like 5x over the current amount. it actually would not be like that huge, and we don't have sales tax here, so that's a big part of the reason that they need to do it via this payroll tax. But like, really, one of the things that one of the press officers said is that, like, everybody needs to go back to the office so that people take transit more. We need to get rid of work from home. And I was like, no, no. I am sorry. So that you can have fare box recovery, so that you can have more people on buses, you want people to go into an office unnecessarily. I do understand that it is better for the economy to have people out and about and going to local businesses near their offices and stuff like that. But environmentally, the idea of having people unnecessarily commute to work to do the exact same thing, like, the amount of people, myself included, who go into an office to have a Zoom meeting in an empty newsroom is ridiculous. And so I'm so upset that we had nice things and they're taking the nice things away for the wrong reasons. There is lower cost to employees. There's higher happiness to employees. There's greater efficiency in the healthcare system when people work from home. Guess what? Because if you make people go into an office and then they have to take a whole afternoon off to go to the doctor, versus if they could they can do telehealth, or if they're able to just nip out during their lunch break from home. There's just so many ways in which it is it's so frustrating. And businesses have been moving away from the city center more and more. So it's not even like you get the economics of agglomeration of the central business district anymore. How many people actually go to their doctor near their office? Not that many, unless you work in a healthcare facility. You probably are traveling out to a hospital, and maybe you work in a suburb in an office park. And so it just, ugh. I'm worried that my plans to retire in 400 days will not come to light. I am still cheering on your retirement, K-Walk Comedy. I do not have a magic ball, 8-ball that has any useful information for you. I will say, I think the really big, I think it could be more likely that you get an early retirement than you're not able to retire. And it's only a year. I mean, what can happen in a year? What's happened in 100 days? I'm not trying to be toxically positive, but I do think that state employees are, it's more likely you'll be able to retire than earlier than that, than it is that you won't be able to retire. I hope everything goes according to plan. My uncle just put in for retirement from the DoD after 39 years. He would have stayed for another few years. Yeah, that's, I've heard a lot of that. My only plan is to not need it until then. So far, the only inconvenience is I'm pushing back an appointment to renew my glasses prescription. Michael, maybe my travel accident insurance would apply since I really am traveling all of May. I do not like this. I do not like this at all. What did your employer screw up? And are you able to get them to pay for a COBRA policy or something for you for the next month? Did I cover congestion pricing versus Sean Duffy? Wait, who's Sean Duffy? Oh, the new, I totally forgot about this. No, I didn't cover it because I don't live in New York, but it is pretty funny. My company said people had to come back to aid in collaboration. They ordered 10 people in my department back to the office. Everyone at the US is at home all the time. Then they laid off 7 of them, so just 3 of us left, and I'm on meetings most of the day too. It's so silly. It's so silly. Do you have to go in 5 days a week? As an educator, I did have a work from home option. Even when teachers were remote as admin, I worked. delivered food to students and a little of everything. That was like the I think you said I think you're saying you didn't have a work from home option. Um I have to go in on I have to go in on air for on air coverage because I have to be physically in the radio station to do on air live shifts. But they're like making reporters go in, which is just bizarre to me because reporters, there's nothing about their job where they need to be in. I don't know. I have 2 doctor's appointment Monday. Both are halfway between work and home. From a personal finance perspective, working from home is so much better. Yes, if you have never read Your Money or Your Life, which is a book about early retirement, I totally recommend reading Your Money or Your Life. It just got re-released. I think it was the 25th or the 30th edition of the book. Kind of the beginning of the financial independence retire early movement. But one of the things they do is they have you calculate your true hourly wage, taking out all of the things that you specifically buy for work. And that includes like, is it more costly to pack lunches for work compared to eating from home? Do your wear and tear on your car, your gas mileage, your fancy clothes that you have to wear, especially if you're like in a profession where you have to dress in a very specific way. And it's very illuminating to walk through that exercise. And that book was originally written. I haven't read the new and updated edition. I read it when it originally came out. And like work from home was like a thing that like 3 people were doing when I read it in the late 90s, early 2000s. And the it is worth reading and doing those exercises, I think, for everyone. That is one of the reasons that, you know, offices used to have all of these perks to try to get us to like come in, as like Silicon Valley offices had such ridiculous perks. That wasn't true for government offices like ever, but like, you know, the free coffee, the free snacks. I worked at like I was like a contract position at like a company that did healthcare and retirement training. And even as a contractor, like during our busy season, during open enrollment, they would like cater food a couple times a week. They would like pay for a taxi home if you had to be at the office past like 7 p.m. or something like that. I mean, they just had like all sorts of ridiculous perks to make it so that it sort of offset the extra costs of going into the office. I did not work from home, but my brother is able to help care for my parents as he worked from home. Yeah. I'm delaying implementation of my LLC to both develop my product more, but also because staying liquid sounds very advantageous at the moment. It's only $100 to register your LLC. So I would argue that one of the advantages of like registering the LLC now for $100, the EIN is free, by the way. So you don't have to register an LLC if you just use your name as your actual name as part of the name of your LLC. You can look up the rules online, but you can just register an EIN for the business for totally free. And then you can do the LLC later. But once you have the EIN, you will be able to get a business bank account. My recommendations are that the advantage of doing it sooner rather than later, it makes it a lot easier to keep track of your costs for the business for doing your taxes. Because if you launch this month or 2 months from now, as long as it's still in tax year 2025, you will have to have all that paperwork, and it will make it a lot easier to keep track of those expenses. Product, I'd kill myself working that much and gotten a bunch of debt for sure. Product will be ready when it's ready. I mean, that's fair. I'm not trying to rush you to having the product out or taking on debt, but actually getting the LLC it's quite easy. You can do it in about an hour. Don't put me going in 5 days a week into the universe. Post-pandemic, my company offers all the bags of Skinny Pop and Kirkland bars granola bars you can eat. Oddly, they don't run out that fast. We don't even offer coffee in my office. And if you want to get any snacks, they have to be you have to pay for them from the vending machine in the basement. It's like a one of those vending machines that's like open, but it has a camera running all the time. So you just pick it up off the shelf and you scan it and you pay it, but it's like courtesy, like you could steal from it, but there's a camera running all the time. I don't love it. But it is significantly cheaper than the very fancy grocery store across the way, which is like the only thing the only grocery store for like miles. And so that grocery store is so expensive. And because of that, even vending machine prices are significantly cheaper. My building got rid of the vending machine because no one bought from it. I think people do buy from it in our building. We have a lot of people like me that are required to be on site. Like we have someone on 24/7 on site. So we have coffee only, and my office is so far from any stores or restaurants. I do appreciate there's the grocery store across the street. I think there's like one restaurant in the area, but I've never been there. But theoretically, there is a restaurant. A restaurant. Great advice on the LLC. Getting back to it, once I fulfill one more obligation, don't put it off for too long. I'm just saying, like, it's the LLC is not the make or break task. I don't even have the perk of the deck, just barely now. It's just prison years rules, survival of the fittest. That's why I'm remote as much as humanly possible. See, that sucks. I think that's crap when they're making you hotel on the desks, because I'm like, this is just a bad co-working space. If they make the office like really attractive, I guess that's okay. But for me, like, if you're gonna make me go in, you better like let me store stuff there. Like, I have like 3 pairs of shoes at my desk. So, and like snacks, sometimes I have to stay at the office overnight, for work reasons when there's like extreme weather, and therefore I got a lot of stuff at my desk. Vending machine in my lobby is very popular because we have the biggest conglomeration of stoners in the Pearl District. The anchor tenant in my building is Publishers Clearinghouse headquarters, and we still have no food in the building outside their office. No fair. They demolished my desk of 7 years to put a couch in no one sits on. I love that you just come in this live stream and complain about your company, because I have a lot of complaints about your company now. Do you like your job? Do you like your actual job? You just like complain about the apparatus of it? Because me too. The coffee thing is still wild to me because we're a newsroom and we're 24/7. Like we are a 24/7 broadcaster. We have people in the building 24/7 and no coffee. And it just is bizarre to me. We also don't have any toaster ovens in the building because someone burnt something once, and because we're like a broadcaster with a bunch of like batteries and large electrical devices, the fire department like gets called when any smoke alarm goes off and shows up, and it's very expensive. And so now we're not allowed to have any toaster ovens, but it sucks because sometimes they bring bagels in, but there's nowhere to toast them, which I think should not be allowed. I appreciate when there's bagels, but it is very silly there's nowhere to toast them. I've thought about bringing a contraband toaster oven in and like hiding it. I hate stupid bureaucracy in all forms, corporate and government. I think you're not alone in that. Except for maybe the accounting department of my organization. I think they love bureaucracy in all forms. Now I'm evaluating getting back to the office after injury. What do you want to go back into the office? I'm very curious. Like, are you missing it? Is there coffee available to purchase or a machine to bring your own? Well, we weren't supposed to have a coffee machine, but someone snuck one in during COVID when a bunch of people weren't in the office. And so there is a coffee machine now, so you can bring in coffee if you want to make it there, but there's no coffee available to purchase. A bunch of years ago, there used to be a guy that came around every morning, like on a little pedal bike, and would make coffee for people. But that hasn't existed for years. So you just have to everyone just brings their own coffee. Which job? The one I was hired to, the one they changed without telling me, the one I do in addition to my job. What's your favorite one of those jobs? When they got rid of the 7 people, I'm suddenly responsible for opening the mail. I hate that. I only liked it when I was responsible for opening the mail, when I was also responsible for raising money, because then money would come in the mail. So opening the mail was very fun, but we had to open it with 2 people and like sign it, because money would be in the mail all the time. So. Oh, I don't want to until I'm fully mobile, but all my staff is in person and we're starting a huge renovation that I should be partially overseeing. I think until you're not injured, you should not be overseeing a renovation in person. That's just my thought. My office was given to someone to turn into a conference room. Does anyone use the conference room? That's what gets me most upset, is when things get turned into conference rooms and then no one uses the conference rooms. Oh, Aaron wants everyone to notice this very cute. Aaron almost got me this in Hong Kong, but then for other reasons did not get this for me in Hong Kong and instead ordered it. It is a Japan exclusive Instax mini camera, and it has this like vintage one. But what's nice about it compared to my other Instax is that you actually can review the photos on it after you take them before. Also, it has some very nice sounds and everything. Where is the on button? It's a switch. Okay. Yeah, so the on button is this little switch right here. But when you take photos with it, so let me take one. I'm gonna take one of this cat. Okay. So when you take a picture on it, how do I review it? There we go. You can review it before you print it. So you can like edit it within it, and you can also use it as a printer for your camera. Or for your phone. So you can hook it up and use it the way that I use, like the little printer that I use here. I don't know where it is. It's in my drawer, so I can't get it out. But I really like that because that's one of the downsides. Like, if the film is so expensive, you don't really want to be in the situation of like, oh, I have to be super precious about the shot. So it seems to me some of the best of a instant camera and the best of a phone kind of situation. One downside, it doesn't come with a lens cover at all, which I find kind of wild. Anyway, it's a Japan exclusive version of it in the pink. And Aaron saw it in Hong Kong, almost got it for me, didn't realize it was a Japan exclusive, only available apparently also in Hong Kong, and then was very upset when he couldn't find it online and ordered it, I believe, on eBay? No. From a Japanese website?
Buyee Japan.
Oh, Buyee Japan, okay. Fuzzbubbles had noticed it. Yeah, Fuzzbubbles, I don't want you going around on crutches in the renovated building. I keep sitting on the couch in protest. It's very uncomfortable and no one knows it's a protest. Okay, I feel like that's probably you sitting on it is making them think that someone sits on the couch. So I feel like it's not a very good protest. I will not tell you how many lawyers' offices I have to read and scan letters from. That sounds terrible. The lens cover is arriving from Amazon within the hour. I saw something earlier, but I was on a rant. Did someone say that we should go through all of our Amazon purchases? Should I do like a there's this guy Caleb here on YouTube. I almost never watch his stuff. I think it's Caleb Hammer. I don't watch his stuff terribly often, but it pops up a lot. I feel like he's kind of too mean to people. I don't like it, but maybe some people need that. But he does like financial reviews where he like goes through people's stuff. And I feel like we could do that, but for Amazon purchases. I will say, Rami Setti's podcast, so many people just have Amazon as a category on their budget, and it's very upsetting to me because it'll be like $800 a month Amazon. And I'm like, what are you getting on Amazon? You might spend $800 a month on Amazon, but I need you to break that down into like needs and wants. What is household? What is food? It's frustrating. I understand that some people do not like to track their expenses as granularly as I do, but it still drives me nuts. I said Aaron should.
Hey, get out. Hey, get out of there.
Did they leave? Aaron is talking to someone that sounds to be drunk, at least from here. Extremely drunk.
Tried the laundry door.
Great. Okay. Extremely drunk. Sounds drunk. Like from outside in here, I can tell just by the voice. Okay. Yeah, I like how B's like, oh, that guy. Yeah. Such cute, much pink. Yes, I agree. That is the review of the camera. All right, y'all. I have to go in 5 minutes to my next meeting. So y'all are going to tell me what you're looking forward to this week. I think we've reached the conclusion that healthcare is not going to end tomorrow in the US, but it is getting worse incrementally almost every day, just in case you were wondering. I would love to talk more about it, but in a way where I also I would like to do it about as much as I want to gouge my eyes out. So I don't know. We'll have to figure that out in a future live stream. It sounds like there is some interest in cleaning, organizing streams. I'm kind of filing, maybe streams or videos. I'm kind of filing that away. I feel like it'll be better as edited videos because I can speed up the cleaning parts. And also, like, I'm not going to tune in live to one of those most of the time. I'm going to watch it when I am doing the stuff that I'm doing. So anyway, I'm working on that, and those probably will happen sometimes this summer. If we move this summer, it doesn't, to me, it feels, I'm at this like stage right now of, other than keeping my house the marginal amount of clean that I need to keep myself like sane, and like sanitary, I don't feel like it's worth it to organize anything. I've just like given up on my closet until I move because I feel like as long as I can keep finding clothes to wear, it's like too much of it's too hard to do. And we are like eminently getting closer to moving. And I don't want to put a bunch of time and energy into like decluttering all of my stationery over here to then move it in like a month. And also, I don't plan on, I've already like, I did a bunch of like decluttering when I moved in here because it's 2 people in in a loft. And so I got rid of a bunch of stuff, or I stored a bunch of stuff. And I want to, the stuff that I stored and the stuff that I have, I want to put it all in one place and like do it all together. I should start saving up money in case my landlords, who are also my family, do ask me to move as suggested last night. Oh no. Hopefully they can, I was thinking about how in like San Francisco, the way that people will break rent control is by claiming that they're having a family member move in. But I don't know if they can do that if you are already a family member. I don't know. I'm looking forward to the new to me phone, refurbed, hence no tariff. Still transferring eSIM and data right now. That's exciting. I also am getting a new to me phone. Aaron handed me a phone this week. Well, actually, Aaron didn't even hand it to me. Aaron just set it on my desk and it was charging. And I was like, I guess this is for me now. I am possibly going to do a 2-phone situation. I got a phone from Aaron because Aaron got a new phone through like a work upgrade. And so I think I'm going to have a separate work phone. They still aren't giving us separate work phones, but I think for my own sanity, I want to have a separate work phone than personal phone now. So, cuz I'm actually on the phone like a lot for work. So, and we have Zoom numbers at work. It's very frustrating. So, um the Zoom phones, we can receive text messages, but we can't send them because security at our work won't let us send them. And it's very frustrating. I'm excited for your last tariff-free shipment of circuit boards, David. My neighbor on the 3rd floor died on Thursday and they want me to renovate the apartment and move there. It hasn't been renovated ever and the building was built in 1976. Does that sound fun to you? Because it sounds like it could be very fun. But it also sounds like a lot on top of your job. Renovating a 50-year-old apartment is like, for some people that sounds amazing and other people it does not. I got a new to me phone as a burner for some upcoming international travel just in case. Yeah, we got like a tiny little burner phone. It's a little pink Nokia. I don't know if I think I brought it out on one of the live streams, but it's like keychain size, but it's an actual phone. And it looks like there would be professional help. I mean, that's great, but I also feel like, do you have to do that? I don't know. Can someone else do it? Seeing a friend on Saturday for her birthday. I like how normal yours is and not about buying stuff, which it seems like almost everybody else is buying stuff. Okay, here's another non-buying stuff. In the weather and being in my garden. I also get my wheelchair next Tuesday. Very exciting. Is this a permanent wheelchair or is it a like temporary wheelchair? Because is it like, has it been on order for a long time? And is it specialized? Next live stream will be Lily calling in from the tiny Nokia phone. That actually sounds amazing. 530 S22 for 530 USD. That still sounds expensive. I can't believe how expensive phones are. Phones are so expensive now. I hate it. I hate it. I shouldn't complain too much because my last couple phones seem to come to me for free. But I think the one I have right now I bought. No, this one I inherited. The one before that I bought. Oh, man. I do appreciate these because I otherwise would not upgrade my phones. Okay, y'all. I hope everybody has a lovely week and enjoys their hanging out in their garden, their new phones, their new wheelchairs, their friend's birthday, their various shipments that they got to avoid tariffs. It seems like there's a lot of shipments people got to avoid tariffs. Is electricity meter hooked up in the triplex yet? No. I hate it. I hope you all have a lovely rest of your week. I will see you next Tuesday. Until then, stay safe, stay hydrated, pet a cat if you have one available, and I will see you all soon. Bye.